Hey everybody, I'm very happy to say that I was given the opportunity by Jaguar to virtually visit their special vehicle operations facility for an exclusive behind-the-scenes sneak peek at the brand new Jaguar Vision GT SV concept car. Due to COVID, I can only visit by a Zoom call, so I apologize in advance for my voice. I interviewed Cattell-Ford, the lead exterior designer on the car, to learn as much as I could about it. I learned about the new liquid nitrogen cooling for the batteries inspired by liquid PC cooling, talked about the new disc brake tech and how that fits into the heritage of Jag race cars. We talked about the insane wing, and he shared some really cool Easter eggs. Let's dive on in.
So good afternoon. My name is Cattell-Ford, and I'm the lead exterior designer on this project. And today we are at the Special Vehicle Operations VIP workshop with a host of amazing heritage Jaguars and the new Vision GT SV. Yeah, and a bit about me. So I'm the lead exterior designer on this project at Jag. So I work in advanced design. So I'm lucky enough to get these cool projects where you're kind of really you're looking into the future and you're looking at designs way ahead of time. And yeah, I was lucky enough to work on the Gran Turismo project, and the last car, the Vision GT Coupe, and our first Vision GT car. Obviously that went down really well. It was a great story for Jag, a great design story, and we wanted to really take the feedback we had from that car, from gamers such as yourself, and develop something even better. When we have all that feedback, you're just so eager to go and improve the car and make another version of it. So the main sort of brief behind this car, the SV, is that we always imagined it as the first electric endurance race car that would be able to compete like a 24-hour race. So that was always sort of in the back of our mind. How do we make a car that can do that? And throughout the car, we've kind of used all these different technologies to sort of allow that to work.
Very cool. When it comes to you designing these cars, what kind of, I shouldn't say restrictions, but what kind of things are decided before it gets to you? Like, do you have to design around a powertrain, a layout, that kind of thing? Or do you get to just kind of go wild with your design and then they kind of fit in around that? Or is it kind of more of a joint effort?
Yeah, so the coolest thing about this design study was that we could, in design, we started thinking about, what we wanted to make this. And we could design everything from the ground up. So right from the beginning, right from very initial sketches. And my team and I, we created like a huge range of different concepts. And we presented this to Yamauchi-san and Polyphony, and we got some feedback from them about what they thought fitted the game most, fitted our brand. And together we sort of decided on the theme that you see here today, and that's the one we sort of went with and developed.
Love it. That's really cool that you get to. It must be different designing for a video game rather than designing a concept car for the real world.
Yeah, that's it. There's normally all of these massive cost constraints and and timelines, and actually having to mass manufacture a car is, it's very difficult. So to be able to just ignore all of that and just make, exactly what we want to make is, it's like the dream job for a car designer. It really is.
I was about to ask you that, like, being a car designer kind of seems like a dream job in itself, and then you get to go above and beyond. You get to get the dream gig within your dream job. It's pretty cool.
That's it. So like, I get paid to draw cars, so there's not much cooler than that. Obviously, it's a bit more. You need a bit more skills than just the drawing nowadays. But
Right.
but yeah, it's a really cool job. And yeah, as you say, it's just within that job, this is the perfect project.
Yeah.
And you always feel you feel bad spending so much time on it because it's just such a dream that you get so involved and it just becomes your life for quite a while to make it as good as you can.
I imagine. Yeah, I bet you put your heart and soul into it because it's gonna be in Gran Turismo, man.
Exactly.
I bet you've been playing Gran Turismo for a while.
Well, the coolest thing about this is that more people will be able to use this car than probably any of our other production cars. People that can't afford to drive Jags or to buy them, and people that everyone can drive this now with a very small budget. It's really cool. So in that
really cool thing to think
in that
about.
way, yeah, there's a lot of pressure because you're designing a car for so many people, and even people that haven't driven before. And it's like, how do you make that experience, as exciting as it would be in real life?
Yeah. An interesting thing to think about. This is going to be someone's favorite car. That's something cool to think about.
Yeah, and it's
Some kid with playing Gran Turismo is going to see this, and this is going to be their favorite car.
Well, it's
gotta feel cool.
so nice. The last car we released, we had messages like that, and it's just it's so heartwarming. It's so cool to think, and for me to look back at when I was playing racing games when I was a kid, having my favorite cars in it, and it's brilliant to look back and think about how much that meant to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet you've been drawing since you were really little, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's that's it, and it's why a lot of people say you need to have a lot of talent in art or drawing to do a job like this, but part of it, as you say, is just doing so much drawing that I've managed to get fairly decent at it, and keep pursuing it. And my parents kind of said, because I loved cars, I loved drawing, it's the obvious job choice, So they said to me, you should be a car designer. And I always thought that was kind of, that's quite scary. It's like, that sounds like a big job to do. Maybe I'll design toy cars instead. So
There you go.
So when I was a kid, that's what I wanted to do. But as I got older, at one point I wanted to design video games, and when I was playing video games so much, but now it's it came. I guess I got my first car, and from that moment, you just fall in love with cars again, and that's when I wanted to, to do this job.
Are there any influences from cars you drew as a kid that made it into this design?
Oh, I hope not. Yeah.
Hopefully it's improved a little bit since then.
Yeah, that's it. No, that's it. You look back at old drawings. I look back at drawings I did a year ago, and I think, oh my God, that's not good enough. You keep getting better and better. So yeah, hopefully, yeah, it's a good question though.
Absolutely. Wow, man. So you're living the dream. That's fantastic. What's your favorite part of the car?
Favorite part? So, God, that's a hard one. So this one, I'd have to say, the rear part of the car, which you can't see right now. I'll show you later. But the rear end, we've cut the bumper from the last car, and we've used this liquid nitrogen cooling tank we have in the back of the car. So we thought this would be a really cool thing. And the idea for this, see, we can just go wild with ideas. And this is what happens. So we saw, I've been watching like overclocking videos, people overclocking computers, and they use liquid nitrogen. And they're literally pouring liquid nitrogen onto processors so that they can overclock them as much faster than you could usually do. And so we thought that was such a cool thing. Like, not only did it look amazing, seeing all the steam flying off of this, on the camera, it just we're like, it actually works. This can be injected into the batteries and cool everything down. And for an endurance race car, obviously that's a big deal because the heat generated when you're charging a battery as fast as you can is massive. So So to use liquid nitrogen, that basically, solves a lot of those issues we had.
That is so cool.
And
That is a real, people are going to love that.
Yeah, well, that's it. And it's really cool to take inspiration from other realms and sort of use them on a car like this.
Yeah, I noticed like is it like a circuit board kind of design on the paint?
Yeah, so that was one thing. We were like, the last car we released with a really nice paint job, very clean and pure. And this one, we were like, this is the full-on race car now. We need a livery. And we did so many different designs, so many different livery designs to try and find that final livery. And we landed on this one. And it really, as you can see, it's circuit board, so it's quite obviously represents, our electric racing and the electric drivetrain in this car. And obviously, as you can see, I think you can just about see the Formula E car in there, but obviously the drivetrain, is all inspired by that car and our electric racing series. And as well as that, there's like dates sort of dotted around the car we can show you. So the dates basically, they reference our heritage race cars. So it's kind of like some Easter eggs that you can see on the livery.
I love that. That was one of my questions.
Oh, cool.
What kind of Easter eggs do you have hidden?
Yeah, so that was it. That was really important, to have this this new electrified livery, but also, throughout the design of this car, we've really referenced all of our, or like so many of our old sort of heritage race cars. And there's so much good stuff to choose from as well. When these cars you've seen here today, it's there's so many you can just stare at them for hours. There's so many design elements you want to grab and use, and so it's kind of an easy job for me really. I just pick the best bits of all of those cars and merge them into one.
Can you point out any specific things that are tributes or callbacks to either other cars or that have been with Jag for a long time?
Yeah, of course. So the from the angle you can see right now, the front fenders, the front haunches, they really reference the C-Type Jaguar. Not only are they quite soft, but they're quite from this point to here, there's a lot of tension, and that's very similar to how it was done on the C-Type. So we really like that. And then there's obviously the big one to mention is the proportion of the car. Obviously we love the E-Type, as many people do. But that cabin rearward look with that long bonnet, that was something we really wanted to capture a bit of that in this Gran Turismo car. As well as that, obviously you have the J's for the headlamp graphic, which we've been using on a lot of our modern cars. That's a big one. The shape of the grille is also references our current Jaguars, and it's just kind of taken to the next level. So the car's so low and wide that you have to stretch it out to make it fit the proportions.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I could go forever on that question. That's a good one.
I like that.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So there's the side blade. I don't know if you can see the side blade from there.
Yeah.
But that's basically, we saw, when you look at the XJR14, that car has a very sort of similar styling coming from the wheel arch. And it's an aero feature, of course, like, keeping the air sort of stuck to the wheels. And so that was inspired by that as well.
Awesome.
Okay, that's cool. So yeah, we can take you for a walk around of the car now. So I can sort of talk about more of it rather than just this front three quarter as well. Actually, while we're here, I can talk about this, what that is, if that's a good time. That's basically, as I was saying, the numbers are dotted around the car. Most of them are years of our sort of famous race-winning cars. This one, the 603, that's a reference to the D-Type, the long-nose D-Type. And we had it, the guy that owns the car, he lent it to us for a day to do sound recordings and just really analyse that car and use it as a reference for this. And part of that was they actually took the sound recording of that car and they sort of reproduced it to create this electric tone of this car.
Yes, so that's awesome.
So it's really using as much of those old Jags as possible to create something as exciting and modern.
That was actually one of my questions too. I was going to say, since it's not a working car, where did you get the in-game audio? And that's really amazing.
Yeah, that's it, and it's a mixture. So it's based on our I-Pace as well, the Jaguar I-Pace. The guy that engineered that sound, that created that, he's the same guy that's worked on this one. There you go. And so he's used elements of both of those. So actually the visceral sound of the classic D-Type, and the electric sort of tone of the I-Pace as well. And it's
That's exciting.
yeah, and it's a combination of those sort of ramped up to the next level for this car as well. So it should sound even better than the last one.
That's exciting. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed everything about the last one. I threw on comfort hards and I drifted it everywhere.
That's it. Well, a lot of people didn't realise that you can change the torque bias, can't you? So you can send most of the power to the rear wheels. So it's that was actually something we took as feedback, because we wanted to set the default torque bias to be a bit more rear biased.
Good. Awesome.
Just so, because people were saying it feels a bit sort of front wheel drive like in the corners, and it's because we've got this 50-50 split, which is great for racing. But yeah, we wanted people to realise that you can change that, you can adjust it, and make it feel how you want it to.
Perfect. We love oversteer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I'll take you round to the side of the car. So what's some new bits from the last one? Obviously we have bonnet latches, quick release of this bonnet. And the bonnet, you see that kind of cuts off here, so it's a massive clamshell. And again, linking to a lot of our sort of heritage cars with this big clamshell bonnet. The canopy of this car, it opens, so this whole thing would open and come forward. So yeah, that's really cool. That was a challenge to make it work and to package everything, because again, we've engineered it as well. You know, we made it work so that not only is it exciting and all the features are quite cool, but they actually have been made to work in the virtual world. So we know it works. We know you could do it. So onto the interior as well. I can tell you a little bit about the interior. I don't know how much of it you'll see, but you'll be familiar with the interior from the coupe. So it's the same interior with sort of some retrimmed elements.
Does that mean Kitty is back?
Kitty is back. Yeah, it's there is. You might be able to see the hologram unit there. It's not on at the moment.
That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah, I'm waiting. It's not working right now, but
She's sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. So yeah, that's cool. And then on the side, so yeah, I was talking about these side blades. You'll notice the three sort of lights here, so they illuminate in the game. Or they should do it, and this is basically to represent the position. So it's like in Le Mans, you know, the cars have first, second, first, and it's great for spectators because you can see what position the car is in when you're actually watching the race.
Perfect. That's cool.
So yeah, there's little references like that. It's hard to show you, but this surface behind here is actually wraps in and it's sculpted. So that was something that was really important for the SV team, the aero team. They really wanted to basically duct more air out from the wheel arch. And it just helps that airflow sort of wrap around the car as it comes out. So it's the sort of thing, if you look closely in the game, you know, in photo mode or something, you'll kind of see that. You'll see that it wraps in. It's a bit different from the last car.
I like that.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
It's so cool.
Yeah, so onto the rear of the car. You're asking about one of my favourite design features, and I just we wanted to integrate this wing, and we wanted to have it top mounted, and we're like, you know, where do we actually connect this thing? You know, it's such a big wing; it needs a pretty solid mounting point. And the easiest way to get through to the chassis was just to go straight through that rear glass. And so obviously this being the race car, it's all Perspex windows, but yeah, that mounts straight to the carbon tub through there.
That is one of the coolest wings I think I've ever seen. I'm a wing connoisseur myself.
You can't miss this one.
That is amazing.
And so
every part of it.
Yeah, and so the initial design theme, I was saying before, it was designed by one of my colleagues, Giulio. He had this sketch of this wing where the bodywork kind of ran through the wing. And it's, as you kind of see here, it's got this sculpted side, and the air passes through, and that's very similar to the sort of the side of the car. And so the real challenge was like taking this design theme and then giving it this real life aero section, the section that the SV Aero guys gave us that would work, and sort of merging it all together and making it all look really good, but also, function in real life too. And then I don't know if you can show underneath, you won't be able to see it, I don't think. Maybe with the iPad. Can you show behind the car?
Looks good at every angle.
Yeah, we've got it up against the door at the moment, so it's hard to get the camera in there, but we can. There we go. They're doing a good job. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see it, but this is the liquid nitrogen cooling tank, and you can see I've got some space under here.
That's amazing.
So we've cut the last car had a rear wing, the deployable rear wing. So we've taken that out, so more air can get through there. As I said, we've cut the whole of the rear bumper has been cut, and then we've integrated this removable canister for the liquid nitrogen. And so the idea is that you could change that in a pit stop, and as I said, that's used to supercool the batteries and really allow this to be a full electric endurance racer.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so you're getting a bit closer now. You're getting inside.
That is so cool.
So yeah, the other massive thing to mention, obviously, is these Venturis. So these are. You could just about.
Just in front of the main camera.
There we go.
Yeah, so there's these huge Venturis, and they run right from the sort of almost the central point of the car. And they were given, again, these were developed by SV and the aero team. They said we need to have these Venturis to generate the downforce they wanted to. So yeah, it's a challenge to package some of this stuff, but it's also awesome to see the real aero work sort of and develop it on the car.
That is so cool. I like that. I saw a peek of the tail light integration. That was really slick too.
Yeah, so we've got this kind of 3D shape on the tail lamp. And then you can see that was where the wing was on the coupe. So you can see how that's cut out now, just to get rid of as much turbulent air as possible from the back of the car.
It's really interesting to think about the whole liquid cooling idea in the future of endurance racing. When right now we're trying to think about conserving fuel and saving our tires. We're gonna have to think about our batteries are overheating, or do we have enough cooling to keep our batteries tired?
That's it. Cool. Yeah, and keep and not degrading the battery as well on such a long race to keep it so that you can keep delivering the power you need over and over again. That's the challenge, and it's a massive challenge for an endurance car.
That's cool. It's one of the coolest concepts that I've heard of when it comes to like car technologies. Like most things aren't that new. Like this is like one of the first completely brand new concepts I've heard of when it comes to cars and endurance racing in general. It's such a good idea. Yeah, and
that's such a cool thing about this project, the GT Vision project. It's just so liberating because you can have these absolutely wacky ideas, but all based on reality. As much as we could have went crazy and just reinvented technologies and made up things, really, we still wanted it to feel real, like you could actually make this, and that everything would it would work in real life as well as in the game. That was really important for us.
I think that's a great idea. That's one of the main things that people talk about when it comes to all the people that are asking on stream about things that people talk about with the concept cars is how much of this can be done in real life. Like, could we make this car today? Is a big question.
Yeah, and that's what that's why we tried to use using like the Formula E drivetrain, using technologies like liquid nitrogen and things we know about. Just makes it feel so much more real,
Absolutely. Can we get fan boost?
Fan boost? No, that's something we haven't done yet in this car. But obviously that works really well for Formula E. That's quite cool.
It's such an awesome idea.
Maybe something to look at in the future.
There you go. Heard it here first, Ollie.
You come along, you can help me.
There we go. Don't tease. I love it. What other Easter eggs are you hiding from us?
What else? I haven't talked about, so obviously the wheels, they're the same, sort of similar design to the last ones. In the game, you'll see there's actually, we developed a more aerodynamic version of the, we call them petals, but they're, these elements inside the wheels that you allow you to see the disc brake. And obviously we have this same sort of 3D disc brake that we developed for the last car. And also that's a cool thing, it's little bits like that. It's like looking at the brake disc, how can you make that new? What would you do? And obviously Jag, we were one of the first companies to use brake discs in our racing. So it's part of our heritage. And we're like, what if you make the brake disc 3D? What if you give it this sort of convex form? So you give it more surface area to dissipate the heat, and it's a stronger disc overall.
Wow. So I don't think I noticed that about the last one.
Yeah, so that's it. There's little subtle things all over the car when you look at it. And I think it just shows how much fun we had, basically. It's just more chance to do more design work on such a cool project.
Oh man, that's really awesome.
Cool.
Have you driven it in the game? Have you played?
No, I haven't yet. I'm yet to drive it in the game, so I'm just as excited as you to see how it feels. Obviously, we feed back to Polyphony everything we want to about the handling, how we want it to feel, and everything. But yeah, haven't got to play it yet. Yeah.
Soon, we hope.
I hope so. I can't wait. So
is it a single seater? 2
seats. So that was one thing
Beautiful.
from the start of this project. It was really important for our design boss to. Julian told us that he wanted it to seat 2 people. And some of the initial themes for this car, they were based on a 1-seater cockpit. So that was one of the challenges. And obviously we wanted to get the 2 people sitting really close together, to really get that center of gravity in the right place. And you have this still, the interior is really dry the focus still. But yeah, I don't know if you can see. Can you see through here? You'll be able to see the interior.
I can't see it from the iPad view. I bet the camera on the arm will probably be a better view in there.
You'll be able to see it with that.
So we've got all-wheel drive, and we've got space for a passenger, so we're looking at Rally Debut 2022.
I don't know if this would be suitable for that one, but yeah. It was actually reminding me of something else I wanted to talk about. Was
oh wow.
Obviously something very apparent from the exterior of the car is this crazy sort of glass shape we have going on the side. I don't know if you realised in the last car, but there's these two screens on the side. It's sort of digital side glass. So it was always something we wanted to do. When you're in the interior, you kind of see, you have this complete sort of wraparound view of the track, because this is so wrapped around.
Right.
And then it's not broken by a conventional A-pillar here. And because we've made this so thin, it's still structurally really rigid. And we've used screens basically to allow that. So these technologies that we can use. So when you're in the game, it looks like you're looking through a window, but actually it's just this digital side glass that we have there.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
And again, it allows us to do this crazy graphic that you wouldn't see on a road car. It's these little touches that kind of set it apart and make it look different.
Can we look back at the wheels really quick?
Yeah, sure.
Did you design the wheels as well?
As with everything on this car, it's been a team effort. So
Right.
it's been bouncing ideas off different members of our team. So the initial sketch of the wheel also was done by Giulio, and then I took it on and developed it into this, adding some of the details you see here.
Can we come in closer here, Giles?
So yeah, you can not too close to that. The center cap's not There we go. So yeah, that was a cool thing to work on. So a lot of these stages, you know, it goes through different designers or do sort of different parts of the car, and then they'll be refined and developed. And a big part to mention actually as well, because I'm lucky that I can take a lot of the credit, but you know, there's a massive team behind me. You know, we've worked so hard on this, and a lot of it is working with 3D modelers. You know, the digital modelers, they take our sketches and they make it into reality, into this 3D form. And they're the real sort of you know, sculptors behind this. They translate our sometimes impossible sketches into beautiful forms like this.
Yeah, that's got to be a really incredible skill to have. I bet it's really cool the first time you make a sketch and then you see it in 3D. I bet that's a good feeling.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing. Yeah, when you have a good 3D modeler and they just take that sketch, and then that same day you see it, you know, in a real 3D form. It's just, it's mind blowing. It's really cool. And
living the dream, Ollie.
Yeah, I'm a lucky man.
This is great. I think, well, I'm sure I have at least one question I haven't asked you yet. I have to refer to my list.
Oh yeah, cool.
You answered so many of my questions that I had without me even having to ask them. Are there any, so we talked about how like the grill is kind of congruent with the current design concepts with Jag. We talked about how the fender is kind of like, did you say it was, is it the D-type?
So the front fender referenced the C-type.
The C-type, that's it.
Yeah, it's the D-type is kind of much more bubbly. It would go like that.
Right.
Whereas the C-type, it's got this this softness to it. Then it's got tension down to here. It's just kind of subtleties in the design language, but
it's so cool seeing them all lined up like that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we could take you over actually and show you. So yeah, probably the best way is to get down low, and you can see the tension this surface has. It almost feels like it's being pulled from here, you know. And then if you look at the D-type, it's got a much more bubble-like shape to it. And you see they're both absolutely beautiful, so it's hard to choose, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was we thought that has a bit more tension in it.
Yeah.
But then the rear haunches on the D-type are probably more reminiscent of what we've done with the GT. So you know, it's a real sort of mix and match of our favourite bits, as I was saying.
Is there anything that you know is congruent, that it's just Jag with all of the cars?
Yes, it is. And you look at actually all of these cars here, and especially the heritage race cars, they have this softness to them. So this softness to the forms, it's really beautiful, and that's something that, you know, we really wanted to get into this. So you know, it's taking less lines on the car and more softness overall. Apart from that, the obvious one is proportions. That's such a big thing for a Jag. It's getting the proportions right, and you know, they're just all of these cars. The proportions are amazing, and
every single one of them. Sorry.
And it makes my job easier as well.
You say it makes your job easier?
Yeah, that's it. Good proportions. It's hard to make something look bad.
That makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. That XJR.
Yeah.
How many of those actually exist right now?
I don't know, actually. I don't know if anyone here knows. How many of these exist? The XJR9.
It's a legend. It's a legendary car.
That's the only one I've seen, which is the Le Mans winning car. But yeah, I wish I could tell you.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
There's so much greatness in this shot, Ollie.
That's it, and it's the first time I came in this morning, and it's the first time I've seen, you know, our new car next to these heritage races as well. So, it's epic. It's just you know, it's awesome to see them all together.
The new car, is it a Group 1 classified within Gran Turismo's racing series? Do you know?
Oh, we don't know yet. Yeah,
Copy.
Can't say.
I hope so. I want to.
Yeah, because it's GRX was the last one, wasn't it? I believe.
Yeah,
I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. I think that's Polyphony's decision on that one.
That makes sense. We'll wait with bated breath
Exactly.
and see.
Indeed.
Yeah. Did I ask you what your favorite? No, I already asked you that. Yeah, I did. How much sim racing and real racing do you do?
Oh, okay. So sim racing. When I was younger, I used to play so much. Like video games were just like any kid. It's just all you're ever doing. so yeah, I used to play a lot more. And then I haven't had a console for a while until we started this project. And that's when I had to go out and get a PS4, you know, and Gran Turismo Sport, and yeah, it's a bad idea, to be honest, because you get so hooked.
Oh yeah.
And the coolest thing about Gran Turismo is that you can learn racing lines and learn the theory behind it, and you can actually get better at driving in real life. And that for me is just amazing. That's why I'm so hooked. You know, I think a lot of my mates don't understand why I just sit on my own, playing the same track, doing the same lap over and over again, just to try and get a better lap time, you know?
Gotta perfect it.
Yeah, that's it. And I see you guys, I see the leaderboards, and they're so much better than me, and I'm like, oh, for God's sake.
That's how it starts, man. You get addicted.
Yeah.
I'm showing off by wearing my GT Academy shirt.
Nice.
I was lucky enough to be part of that program back in 2014. It's amazing how many people have gone on to be. I mean, there's so many people right now who have racing careers thanks to Gran Turismo.
And that's the most awesome thing, is that guys actually got the chance to race real cars after becoming so good in the game that they are actually really good drivers in real life as well. And so yeah, that's what's got me so hooked, is you are actually like developing your driving skill while you're playing the game. I've never raced. I've never been lucky enough to race competitively, but I do track days in my own car.
Yes.
So I like to get on track, and you know, it's and learning a track on the virtual world, it really helps in real life, you know.
Yeah.
So
I've had the chance to do that just once.
yeah, I've not been lucky enough to. I've used on some sim races. There's some local tracks they have here, but I've never driven any of the Gran Turismo tracks. I don't think yet. No, I'd love to try.
Not. I definitely haven't.
Yeah,
What do you drive?
I've got a few cars on track. I drive an MX-5.
Yes.
Very not very powerful, very light and nimble, and it's a Mark 1, so it's becoming a bit of a classic car, but it's really fun on track.
It's a fantastic car.
Yeah, so a bit less powerful than this, a bit smaller.
Right? Do you have actual specific like drivetrain power specs for the new car?
Yes, we do. So we got 4 motors from the Formula E car in this one, and 4 of the electric motors. I can't remember the horsepower off the top of my head, but it's well over 1,000. We had just over 1,000 in the last car. Yeah, I'd have to double check that for you. And the 0 to 60 is something like 1.62 seconds, something very ridiculous like that. I think it would hurt to go that fast. So, yeah, that's you know, it's part of this. That's just the excitement, isn't it? You know, you can't wait to see how that feels in the game.
Yeah. That is awesome. Let's see. I think. What is your favorite Jag of all time?
Ooh, there's so many. It's hard to pick.
I was like, as I was writing down these questions, I was like, how could I even answer that?
Yeah, I would just have to give you a list of most of them. You know,
Right.
One that's not here is the XJR 14, and actually inspired a lot of this with the rear wing, the side blade. The sculpture of that car is just stunning, really beautiful. So that's one of them. So the E-Type Jag, got to name that.
Classic.
The D-Type, the C-Type that are right here. XJR 15 as well. The sort of production version, or the road-going version of the XJR14. That's a rare one. Yeah, I'd be going forever. Yeah, people want to go home, I think. So.
Yeah, you've answered like all of my questions that I had. I didn't even have to ask most of my questions. That was perfect.
Brilliant. That's good to hear. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I guess we can wrap this up then. It's been really nice to speak to you.
Yeah, it was very nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, awesome.
So what are the actual technical specifications of the car, like horsepower, acceleration, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so with the 4 motors, we have the amazing number of 1,900 PS for the power. And that gives us a 0 to 60 of 1.65 seconds. So pretty mind-blowing.
That is faster than my wife's RAV4.
Yeah, yeah, a bit faster, yeah.
So there you have it, a peek into the process of creating the Vision GT for Gran Turismo. I want to point out a few key things. Firstly, the speculative technology is super cool. I'm excited to see what kind of innovations will be brought about by our electric racing future. The 3D disc brake seems like a great idea, and the wing is so over the top, it's pretty incredible. This car would fit right at home in Cyberpunk 2077. Taking all the little details he pointed out really makes me want to go back and take a deeper look at the other VGTs and trying to find more Easter eggs and ingenious concepts. One thing you mentioned before the interview started properly, like you saw, was that the SB team developed it in a virtual wind tunnel using CFD, so the design actually works in the real world. I'm wondering if this is a hint towards a more robust physics engine in GT7, or if they just went above and beyond with the development of the car. The canopy also had to open and function correctly in the virtual world, which makes me think there's at least a showcase mode we might see. I might be getting way ahead of myself thinking the panels needed to work individually for a deeper damage system, but speculation is all we've got at the moment. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. In any case, I'll leave you with some more footage of this beautiful new car. Thank you for watching, and catch me full-time on Twitch.